Hello and welcome back to a new video. Today we are gonna have a Q&A together with my father. And we got sent him some questions on Instagram on both my father and my account. So let's get to the questions.
Yes.
Question number
1.
How great is it to train and have the same passion for kickboxing?
You ask me?
First you.
I think it's really nice, you know. I spend a lot of time with my children. I can train, I can give them my experience, you know. I was fighting so long time. So I really like that they do the sport. So I'm a little bit nervous when they fight sometimes. But I'm really happy to work with them.
Yeah, I have like the same vision as my father, so I'm really grateful that I have this opportunity to work together with my father. And of course it's amazing to share the same experiences, the same passion, and we are always together. We train together, he also trains with me, and we have a very great bond together. And I don't think many people or almost nobody has the same bond as I have with my father. So that's what I really like. Question number
2.
Peter, what do you recognize from yourself in Marciano?
He look exactly the same like me, like 30 years ago, you know. When you see in the mirror, you know, I was looking the same in that time. And it's nice, you know, we have a little bit my style, you know. He's young, and I teach him my experience, you know. So yeah, that's what I see in. Yeah, and I think he can be a great fighter in the future.
Question number
3.
Who's your favorite fighter besides your father? So basically I don't really have a favorite fighter. There are lots of fighters I watch. Nowadays the fights are a little bit less, in my opinion, the heavyweights. But I mostly enjoy watching, of course, the old K1 fights like Ernesto, my father, but I cannot say my father right now. Sam Grego and Ray Safo and people like that from that time.
Yeah.
So mostly the old K1 fighters.
It was a really nice time, you know. We had so many good heavyweights in that time. It's a shame there are not too many good heavyweights like that old times.
Question number
4.
Did you ever fight with someone who didn't know who your father was, and did you ever hide it? Okay, so basically everybody in the kickboxing world knows who my father is, and if you would Google me or search me on the internet, you would see who it is. So I don't think there has been any opponent that didn't know who my father was, and I see it as a benefit, but it can also work against you. Because of course it has a little bit of pressure. People always blame it because I'm the son of. If I win, I'm the son of. If I lose, I'm the son of.
And one time I was on the way-in with my daughter, and when they saw I was the father, then they didn't want to fight anymore in the beginning. It's crazy. Sometimes advantage, sometimes disadvantage.
Question number
5.
Will we ever see him in the UFC? I really like watching the UFC. I like every aspect of it, jiu-jitsu, wrestling, the stand-up mostly, especially. But I don't think I would go into the UFC because the most people that are in the UFC have a very big wrestling background, jiu-jitsu, and they've trained all their lives already, MMA specifically. So I would have a disadvantage with that, and of course I love kickboxing way more. Kickboxing is my sport, and I don't think I would ever want to change to MMA, but you never know in the future. Maybe I will try it, but we will see. Question number
6.
What do you like about kickboxing?
Me? For me, kickboxing is my life. Everything in it, you know. You have to have mentality. Mentally it's a strong fight. It's really hard and honest fight. And for me the most important thing is respect in fighting, you know. That's the most important thing for me. You?
Well, I think kickboxing is the most exciting sport in the world. It's not too long and not too short. It's high paced, constant action. Everything about kickboxing is amazing. The respect, the mentality, everything is different, and I don't think there's any sport that comes close to what kickboxing is.
Sure.
Question number
7.
Who is your favorite kickboxer?
Oh, my favorite kickboxer. I think, for me, I have many good friends in kickboxing, you know. For me now, favorite Andy Hook. He died, he was a good friend of mine, he was even in my wedding. Peter Smith, Branko Sikitic, were all great fighters. Peter Smith was one of my best friends. He died also, you know, so I think a lot of those guys, you know. So it's a shame they're not here anymore, so, but that are my favorite fighters.
Question number
8.
How do you deal with the pressure of being a son of a living legend? I'm very grateful that I'm the son of my father. It of course brings a lot of pressure with it in the kickboxing world, because like I explained a few questions ago, that it can work in a good way and it can work in a bad way. But yeah, in the beginning it was really hard dealing with the pressure, because especially when I was younger, you're still young, you are not that mentally strong yet because you're still a kid, and sometimes in fights it would be a disadvantage for me. But now I don't really feel as much pressure as I did back in the days, because you learn how to deal with pressure. Question number
9.
What you both think about Mr. Andy Hook?
You first.
Andy Hook is, like, for me, one of the best fighters and one I always love to watch.
Me and Andy, we had a long history together, you know, since '92. He was fighting karate, I was fighting kickboxing that time. We had many years together. We made commercials. We spent a lot of time together. We went out. We had a lot of fights together. And in 2000, in February, I got married. He came from Japan to Holland, especially for my wedding. And the same year, in August, he died. We get a phone call that he was dying. We drove very fast to the hospital. And we just came in, he just died. So
you went, you went from the Netherlands to Japan?
No, I was in Japan, I was fighting here. So, and then I get a phone call from Ken. He called me from, and he's dying. So we rushed to the hospital, and just when we went inside, he just died. You know, I really feel sad to see him like this, you know. So I still miss him a lot.
Question number
10.
Peter, who was your hardest hitting opponent?
I fought so long time. I think the most dangerous for me, I think Mike Bernardo. He was really explosive, this guy. You know, in the beginning from his career, he was really dangerous. He knocked a lot of people out. So I think he was the most dangerous for me with the hitting.
Okay. Okay, so thank you very much for all the questions we have received. They were a little bit too much to answer all, but soon we'll do another Q&A in the future, and make sure to follow us on our social media so you can stay updated. And would you like to say something still?
Subscribe.
Thank you very much for watching.